I'm Jess, and I'm here again hosting another episode of Relation Talks, Girl Talk Edition. Today we'll be doing things a little differently. We have our last guest, Miss Sierra Wade, here with us. She'll be helping me co-host. Hey, Sierra.
Hello, thank you for having me again.
Always. After such serious topics last episode, Sierra and I connected and thought it would be a good idea to do a women's reaction to random questions we've gathered from viewers and viral tweets. Then, because it's graduation season, we'll go over a few of the top funniest senior yearbook quotes, and hopefully we can help you find one for yourself.
All over the USA, hundreds of people turn to the internet to give their opinion on how they think certain things should go. And so are we. Ooh.
This should be fun. Did you want to pick first or should I?
I can go. The first question is, what is your most favorite quote and why?
My most favorite quote would have to be, do what you gotta do until you can do what you wanna do.
Okay,
it's my most favorite quote just because it lets you know, we aren't promised comforts, we aren't promised luxuries. Those are what we are working hard for, and so it just lets you know that until you are where you want to be, you do whatever it is that you have to do until you can do whatever it is that you want to do. So, yeah. What's yours?
I will have to think on that. I'm not sure. Yeah, I will have to marinate on that.
We'll come back to it.
Come back to me.
All right. What do you think is your most noticeable feature and why?
I would have to say my ears, because I really do have some big ears. Like, come on now. But other than that, yeah, I think that's just, them ears.
Period.
Do you get under someone, how do you get over someone who who you plan your entire future with?
I replan my future. I'm really big on that. I'm not, if I'm getting over somebody, I allow myself to go through however I'm feeling, but after I'm over them, my plans are changing. So now I reconstruct new plans that don't involve this person. I'm not one to sit, on the what ifs and the what could be. Like, to me, it is what it is, and regardless of what it could be or it should be or what I want it to be, this is what it is. So we have to do what we have to do with what is. So I get over them.
Yes.
Let me see. What is a question you always secretly want to be asked?
A question that I always secretly want to be asked, that's a good one. I don't know, probably really a genuine, how are you doing? Because I come across a lot of people in my career, and it's a lot of customer service voice and acting. I won't say acting, but you know how you have to put your professionalism on. Okay.
He said we both gonna answer. A question that I secretly would like to be asked is, what would I like? I think that I'm like the mom, and I'm the business owner, and I'm like the overall, I'm the everything. And so it's very rare that people come and ask me like, okay, so, what is it you like? I'm always tending to and making sure. And so for somebody to just be like, hey, would you like this? Or, how would you like it? Versus me always drawing up these, plans and everything.
Yeah, or telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get that.
That's more in demand versus,
okay,
the concern. So yeah. Tier.
Okay, I have one right here. It says, what is the stupidest thing you've done in result of this pandemic?
I cannot say, you know, I actually am very proud of myself for the decisions I made during this pandemic. I can't say that I've made any stupid decisions, truthfully. I think I utilized every opportunity. I think I utilized all of the time, tools, resources that this pandemic offered. So I think the stupidest thing was like wasting energy, you know, like being afraid of what's going on. Like, you know, caring about what's going on in the news. That was probably like the stupidest part, like feeding into the chaos instead of like, you know, you at home, it's you, just get to work. And after I kind of recenter my energy, productivity, it was very productive. And so yeah. What about you?
I would have to say, well, I have little kids, so I want to say probably making it fun for them, especially like during the winter. And yeah, when it was really cold, I did not want to go outside. So we kind of like turned a whole day into a musical, and I swear everybody was singing what they were saying. So that was probably like, I would say the stupidest or like goofiest thing I did during this pandemic.
That's nice. That's not stupid or goofy at all. That's actually like really dope. Unless they like stuck in musical mode, then like.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is romantic love between two people always unequal?
I don't know. I want to say, dang, maybe. Because if you look at it, a lot of people who are like in marriages, long-time marriages and stuff like that, it is a lot. I see a lot of like 60-40, 75-25 in effort and a lot more areas. So with that as an aspect, I would say, yeah, sometimes, yeah, because, okay, it just came to me. Yes. Because the point of a relationship is to pick up where the other person's slacking. So technically, it will never be even. It's just, I don't know. If someone just doesn't put forth the effort, then it's one-sided. That's where it will end. You know, the relationship. So then you don't have to deal with that anymore. It's a bygone at that point.
I believe they're more unequal when one person realizes that the other person is in pursuit. A lot of the times people end up in relationships because the person is pursuing them when no one else is. You know, not that I want you and you want me, it's you want me, so I want you back. And because of that, one person is already going in receiving while the other person is going in giving, because they are proving that they want you while you are accepting that they want you. And so now you feel as if you don't have to contribute as much because you are the one that is desired, which is usually the men in a lot of the relationships. The women are usually more aggressively in pursuit of the men. And so, you know, the women end up overextending and overexerting because, you know, because they are attempting to, you know, win this man or win his affection. And so, you know, I personally believe that it's only unequal because it isn't going in from a even, you know, a even perspective. There are relationships where this woman is interested in this man and he's equally interested in her, and so they come together and they have this very mutual, equal, you know, distribution of that energy. But most relationships these days, like I said, people are kind of looking for the person that accepts them, and because of that, they end up with a person that they now have to pursue and have to soothe and please to keep, which makes it unequal because now they feel like they aren't getting it back when, you know, naturally that wasn't the terms of the relationship. So
yeah. Okay, I can get that point of view, that perspective. I can dig that.
thank you. Thank you. It's girl talk, girl.
Okay, so can any two people fall in love?
Absolutely. I mean, now if you're referring to like two people from random backgrounds,
Random pertaining to?
like just two people, like you're from, you know, Hollywood and then you're from, you know, the projects or something, like can two random people from absolutely different backgrounds fall in love? Absolutely, because opposites attract. There is a lot of affection that can be displayed through interest, you know, and intrigue. And so just because you are intrigued in this person and you guys' differences, it sparks a different kind of affection, because there's so much that you can learn, not just about this person, but about this culture and this lifestyle, parts of you that you didn't know you had, because this person comes from that. But I think naturally, I think most relationships, if anything, if we should actually look for the randomness versus finding our common, you know, our common selves in relationships, because naturally we look for our best qualities in a person, which are what we feel our best qualities in ourselves are. And so we stay in our comfort zone, and when we find the uglies that come out of these relationships, they are like these really hard reality checks that send us into checking ourselves and seeing what's going on with us, because that's a trigger, when really it's a reflection of, you know, the shadow side of you that you aren't looking for in looking outside of yourself, you know. And so, you know, I've been single for a while because I had to do some research on dating, girl. So yeah.
I might have to do some myself.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Time is ticking. Okay. But do I think any two people could fall in love? Of course I do, because I just kept that question vague in my mind. Like, that's literally what happens. You meet someone and you fall in love with them. Did you know them before? No, it was a random person. So with that mindset, I was like, most definitely.
Absolutely. Okay, so when was the last time you did something for the first time?
The last time I did something for the first time, I'll probably be like, it's like kind of like a basic situation. It's eating somewhere new. It was when the world opened up again. I was so excited. I was like, people, grown-ups, food. I'm there. Yeah, nothing interesting. What about you?
I made candles. I made candles for the first time, and they were amazing. And so the last time that I did something for the first time was 4 days ago. I made candles for the first time, and it was a new craft. It really caught my attention. And just the results, I was really proud of them. So absolutely. Let's see. If you didn't see the same spark or attraction in your spouse, but you were still in love with them, what would you do?
If I didn't see sparks in my spouse?
So like that initial spark and attraction is gone, but you are still in love. How do you get that initial spark back?
Okay, because the Aquarius in me was coming out a little bit. I'm like, relationship over. Okay. If I'm still in love with that person, I will try to communicate. Sometimes it's, I don't know, something that I'm lacking that can easily be fixed. Maybe some affection, maybe a little bit more alone time. At first, I would try, most definitely, but yeah, I'm a runner. I'm a track star.
Absolutely.
Okay, I have one.
Well, let's get started with the top yearbook quotes. Sorry.
Hannah Montana said, "Nobody's perfect, but look at me." Come on now, who wouldn't want that as a yearbook quote? Perfect.
Let's see. All of the verses in the good book, and this one has gotten me through these 4 years. Lunch, 12:22. Get it? That tickled me. I'm sorry.
That's a future dad joke. That is ridiculous.
That is a future terrible joke, actually.
Okay. NASA has given us diplomas. NASA is finally letting us free. Like,
who put that?
I don't know. It's, yeah. That's inappropriate.
How about this one? Cheaters never win, but I just graduated.
No comment.
That is hilarious.
Okay.
But I just graduated. Yeah, I love that.
So, are you Asian or Chinese? That would be so annoying to go through high school answering that question. That's frustrating. These people.
No, Miranda. Your senior quote cannot be fries before guys. I have to see my yearbook. I don't know what they put in the back of my yearbook now that I see this. I hope I don't have any of this foolery in there.
Okay, I got one. It says, bro, we just graduated just to go to school again. Like, yeah, felt.
Whoa, I'm not gonna even say that. If you ain't talking money, I don't want to talk. Yeah, that one.
I got another one. Don't follow your dreams. Follow me on Twitter.
Oh, I got one. In this world, you'll either crank that soldier boy or it'll crank you. Soldier boy. That's hilarious.
Okay, someone put, pass me the aux. Really?
Pass me the aux.
Yes, pass me the aux.
No, how about this one? Just give me my diploma and pronounce my name correctly. That's the one.
Yeah, most definitely. Mood. Okay, this is me as a parent. See, kids, I told you I was sexy in high school.
Oh gosh, not this one. I started school with straight A's. Now I'm not even straight. Oh my gosh.
Oh
well,
my
okay.
Okay.
How about this one? I had the perfect quote, but I forgot it. This is nuts.
Okay, it says, my computer screen might be brighter than my future. That sounds like a lot of Netflix right there.
How about this one? Makeup looks pretty on the outside, but it doesn't help you if you're ugly on the inside, unless you eat the makeup.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, these are the worst jokes. Oh, I love them. I love them. I'm taking them.
What is this? This is the 2020 kids? Like, I mean,
For sure.
that graduated?
Graduation 2020, yeah.
This was nothing like High School Musical. You know what? Freshman year, before I even stepped in there, I don't even know why. I thought it was going to be remotely the same, but I forgot I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But I went to the arts, though, so that's why I thought it would be remotely the same.
School is easy, like riding a bike, and the bike is on fire, and the ground is on fire because we're in hell.
Okay, they got another one. The more you weigh, the harder you are to kidnap. Oh my gosh.
All right. Waking up for school for 4 years was the second hardest thing in the morning. I'm sorry. It's on the card.
That one clicked bad.
I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say it. I'm sorry. Let's see. Michelle Ho. Michelle Ho says, I've been a hoe my whole life. These are the top funniest senior quotes.
Like,
Yearbook quotes. This is what they put in their yearbook.
Okay, so one took the quote of their mom and it says, I'm surprised you graduated. That's harsh though. A lot of people live that reality. Parents are surprised they make it through.
Oh, those were heavy. You got some more? I think I read.
It says, the roof is not my son, but I will raise it. I will raise it. I don't get that one.
The roof isn't my son, but I'll raise it. Raise the roof.
Oh yeah, that one right.
Over your head.
That one right over my head. Woo.
Oh
I think
yeah,
I'm
this
done,
is
too.
fun. This is fun. You got any more?
Okay. It says I spent 113,880 hours of my life for a handshake and a diploma. The disappointment. Okay. I have another one. Okay. Finally released from your sentence. That one not funny to me though.
Finally released from your sentence?
Yeah.
Listen.
Because it's not really like breaking free. Because you was rent free, carefree.
High school was not
Yeah.
freedom. That was prison.
Well, I guess.
All right, so I have a question for
technically.
you. What are the 3 most universal necessities a person must have in order to be happy?
Self-love, boundaries, and hobbies. Cause you definitely like genuinely, you really don't need people. People will fall in line. Like you cannot have a group of friends, but you can know a lot of different people from a lot of different things that you partake in.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, happiness is what you choose. So if you choose to make your happiness based on a friendship, that's your life. If you choose to make your happiness based on yourself and what you really like to do, then that's also your choice.
Absolutely. If I had to pick 3 necessities, I would definitely choose selflessness, gratitude, and selflessness, gratitude, and I'm going to take yours with boundaries. I think in order to be happy, we have to set boundaries, and not until I got older that I really realized that that's something that we as a people really battle with, is like actual boundaries. You know, we have these issues. We want to say yes because we want people to say yes to us. We want to be accepted, and so we accept, and so, you know, we let people push certain boundaries that we know we aren't comfortable with, but because we want this person or because we want the acceptance of this person, we allow them to overstep boundaries, and so we push away our happiness for this person's happiness. You know, we push away our comfort for this person's comfort. And so I think in order to be happy, first things first, you definitely need healthy boundaries where you are absolutely comfortable in yourself, in your space. And then, you know, I think you need selflessness. You have to be able to, you know, care about something outside of yourself. You have to want to be of service to others. You have to want to be outwardly kind, you know, and generous to other people in order to, you know, to feel that happiness and that, you know, satisfaction in yourself. Because I think that some of the, you know, people believe that they're happy in their vanity, but I just, you know, I think that's the biggest sign of loneliness. And so selflessness, and then gratitude, of course, gratitude. If you are, you know, thankful and appreciative to be here, you know, to be alive, and just to have time and have space to create, I think you'll always, you know, have that happiness because you know that you are able, you know, and as long as you know that you are able, you have nothing to really be sad or down about because you can get out of it. You know, you have time, you have space, you have ability, you have your hands and your breath and your legs. So, you know, happiness is, to me, coming from being able, a state of ability, a state of creation, you know, able to create. You know, that's where you create happiness. And so, you know, you guys know I rant. I'll rant, I will rant. So don't get me started.
So I have a question. If you could ask anyone a question and they had to tell the truth, who would they be? You don't have to name drop, but I mean, facial structure, you know, complexion. I mean, give the tea.
If I could ask anyone anything,
Ooh, juicy.
That's a good question. I'm gonna sit and marinate on that. If I could ask anyone anything, because I'm not really big on other people's business. So it would have to be something. Absolutely. It would have to be something in my world. What would I like to know that I don't know? You know I'm intuitive. If I could ask anyone anything, I would go into my sleep. I would ask God for the winning lottery numbers, and I would win the lottery tomorrow. So yeah, I don't really, whatever I don't know, I'm sure I will learn, and so I'm not really, I can't answer that question.
Oh,
I get the winning lottery numbers for sure.
I mean,
I'll
you can
talk to
always
God.
do that. You can ask the creator.
Like I talk to God, and I'll get those numbers. So yeah.
Okay.
We're running out of time. This was fun. We definitely should do this more often. If you have any relationship questions between spouse, family, or friends that you may want others' opinion on, drop them in the comments below and we'll talk about it.
Thank you for watching Relations Talks, and keep an eye out for the next episode.